Everybody, it's John Wayne Mullins. This is Mr. New Dad, and it's day 56. Excuse me, my voice is almost gone today. It's been a very, very, very great day. Um, um, for those of you who don't know, I'm on the Hampton Roads Leadership Prayer Breakfast Board. This is a annual event that we host every November, the second week of every November. We come together as a community and we just pray. And we pray for city officials, we pray for elected officials, we pray for the community, the churches, the leaders, the businesses, the schools, everyone within an organization, everyone within that encompasses a community we pray for. And I've been on the board for, almost 4 years now. And today was that day. Hey, Eric, thanks for being here. It's been a great day. I'm talking about the power of prayer because today we had our Hampton Roads Leadership Prayer Breakfast. I've been working on this. It's a nonprofit board for several years, but we've been working on this as a team for since January. Well, we had 720 people show up this morning at 6 a.m. Think about that. Typically, I got there at like 6:25, and I was like, all right, we have plenty of time. Doors open at 6:25, 6:45. Yeah, they beat me there. There was like 200 people there when I got there, and I was like, oh, people are ready for this. People came hungry, literally, no pun intended, and it was an awesome event. We had a representative from every community, whether it was police and fire, first responders, church, businesses, schools. Someone did an old passage versus New Testament reading. We had a couple pastors, and then our keynote speaker was Michelle Bachmann from. She was a former congresswoman from Minnesota, but she's also the dean at Regent University. She's the dean of government. Awesome lady. I've gotten to know her in the last few months because we've been working on this project together, and it was incredible to say the least. But what they do, they come together and our team we go out and find these people, and we select them, and then we pray for the entire community. But she was a powerhouse, dynamic speaker about perseverance and really just the power of prayer. I mean, it really truly was a prayer breakfast this morning, and she just really she has a powerful testimony and powerful encouragement about what prayer looks like and how the power of prayer works. And when you commit to God, and when you commit to Him in your prayer life and just submit to Him, it's amazing what happens when you allow that season, allow that faith to get you through that season until that prayer is answered. And man, it was cool. It was cool. I mean, I'm kind of glad the event's over because it takes a team to pull off an event of that size. We have about 18 people on our board, and it's a lot of work, and it's all nonprofit. So and I'm the treasurer, so I'm the money guy, and so it's definitely a challenge. But man, I am overwhelmed. I came on here tonight talking about the power of prayer just because it's something that I think, as a man, as a new dad, it's something that, as you think about the seasons that you go in, or the seasons you prepare for. I once heard that anything you pray for, you need to be prepared for. And I was thinking about that today as, we've been preparing in this season. What is the power? The power. What is the power? The power is in the prayer, man. The power is in the power that comes from God when you submit to Him, when you are faithful to Him. Is the power in opening up to possibilities? Sure, yeah, it can be. But I mean, It depends. That's an interesting question, Eric. He's asking about the power and opening up the possibilities. Let me share a story with you. Um, so when I first moved down to Hampton Roads 4 years ago, I knew a few people, but I really wanted to get connected to the community. And I was just kind of getting started in my business, and I wanted to connect to people. And so I got an invite to this prayer breakfast. I was like, awesome. It was sold out. Devon Franklin was speaking at it and was sold out. And I knew that, but I knew someone who was going there. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go the day of, because I know most events, they usually always have a few extra seats left. And they did. And so I went and was blown away. It was the day after President Trump got elected, and nobody talked about it. And the guy was just like, um, it's not about that. This is about God. This is about prayer, and that it was amazing. So anyway, let me finish the story before I answer your question, Eric. It's I was so blown away. I was like, I want to be a part of this community. I want to serve in this capacity. And so I met with the board director. I met with the president, the VP, and I volunteered. I started. I started serving on the board. That led to more opportunities. That led to mentorship. It opened up the possibilities in my mindset of what I was. Boy, Eric, you got a lot of great questions. We'll have to talk offline about this. But it opened up the possibilities to something way beyond what I was seeking. Because even though that I was praying for community, I was praying for mentorship, I was praying to get connected. This is the next book. And I was praying for that. God knew my heart. God knew what I really wanted, and He was allowing me to test me in that season, or He was allowing me to see how intentional that I was going to be becoming, because He knew He knew what He had for me. I just had to walk it. I had to put myself out there. I had to have enough faith to actually say, "Hey, yes, this is my prayer, but now I'm going to go out and actually find it." And so it opened up those possibilities. And here, 4 years later, I'm sitting as the treasurer of this very large prayer breakfast, and getting to meet all these amazing speakers and leaders from across the country, all because of a prayer. And that was kind of the essence of today's speech. Today's talk was, prayers don't go unanswered, even though they may be dormant, even though they may take a long time to get answered. And some answers are unanswered, or some prayers do get unanswered. But the point is having faith in that season. And like I said, anything you pray for, you need to be prepared for. So you have to have that season where you are actually preparing yourself in order to live into that, whatever it is that you're praying for. And it kind of goes back to the same thing. I'll circle back to Mr. New Dad. I couldn't wait to be a dad. I love that I can be a dad. And I think that in order to be a dad, you have to prepare yourself for it. Just because you make a baby doesn't make you a dad. There is a season of growth. There is a season of maturity. There is things that you have to learn about yourself in order to be a dad. And I'm still learning that. And there's so much there. So Eric, I will keep these questions because these are really good. Does prayer activate the power or release the power? Well, that's a great question. I think it activates the power, but it can also release the power too. So really, that's a great question. That's a great topic we should talk about. Is the power equal to prayer? No, I think that kind of backs up what you just said. Prayer activates it. Oh yeah, this is good stuff, Eric. Man, I love you. You're awesome. So anyway, back to tonight's talk. I was talking about the power of prayer and being a dad, and today, if anything that I took from this, it's every year that we do this, it really takes a team to accomplish these things. But throughout this entire year, before we even knew who our speaker was, we were praying about that. We were praying about, what does this community need? What is the heart? What is the pain? What is the struggle? What kind of leader, what kind of speaker, what kind of message do people need to hear? And it's something that I think, as you are thinking and praying those things, you start searching for those people. And let me kind of share this. So 2 years ago, we did the prayer breakfast, and we had a little over 500 people show up, but we worked our tails off for the 500. Worked our tails off for it. It was a lot of work. We had 720 today. We sold out last Monday. That's a first. That's a first. So that just goes to show you, tying this back to prayer, is that when you are intentional about that prayer life, and when you are seeking, I believe when you are seeking to fulfill, do God's work, and you're seeking his message, you are seeking something that the community needs. It's almost like, hey, you secure the space and I'll fill the room, because it didn't seem like we really worked that hard to fill this space, this go around, which is pretty awesome, because there's a lot has happened in the last 2 years, from COVID to this administration to inflation to Afghanistan, veterans, so much pain. And I think that this was certainly a message that I think a lot of people, leaders in this community in Hampton Roads, needed to hear. So, it's been pretty cool to watch. Even as a believer, I'm a Christian, but I'm inspired by seeing God work. I'm inspired by seeing prayers answered, and sometimes they're answers that you weren't expecting. And so, but now the hard part, now the work begins, because the whole point is, I've never been a believer or a fan of, hey, just go to this workshop or go to this breakfast, and all your answers are going to get done, or all your answers are going to get made, or it's easy to be motivated, but it's another thing to be inspired to actually go out and do the work. I think John Maxwell talked about that, right, Eric? So anyway, so I just want to come in here and share just what I'm learning. This whole Mr. New Dad, initially started about the lessons that I've been learning in this season as a new dad, but today was just pretty monumental. And so I really just wanted to come and share what I'm learning today. But it's definitely been pretty awesome to kind of see and be a part of something so big, something so much bigger than yourself, and you just get to play a small part of it, and then you kind of get to see how it kind of spreads throughout a company or an organization, or in this case, an entire city. So other than that, tomorrow is going to be day 57. So that means that we have 43 days until the end of the year. 43 days. That's huge. Not a lot of time. Next week's Thanksgiving. So for those of you who took my challenge from 2 nights ago, I'd like to hear some feedback about what are you grateful for, and who are you telling? Who are you sharing that with? So I'm grateful for Eric Reed. If you guys don't know Eric Reed, you got to know him. Eric, this is live on all of my channels, so I'm giving you a huge shout out. Eric Reed is amazing. He helps authors write awesome books. He's a great editor, he's a great teacher, and he's an awesome friend. So that's who I'm thankful for. Anyway, till tomorrow, be well, be blessed, and have an awesome night.